Hi, this is Mrs. Krause reading you The Spreading of Spain. Who would leave their European homeland? Why would they embark on a dangerous journey to a place they called the New World? Let's find out. What will I learn in this lesson? I will be able to explain reasons people came to the United States, describe daily life in colonial America, explain how daily life in colonial America changed over time. Spanish exploration, before 1400s, now 1500s, next 1600s. Spain was one of the first European countries to send explorers across the Atlantic Ocean. They were in search of trading routes to Asia. Here are some of the routes they took. What happened in 1513? Juan Ponce de Leon landed in Florida. He tried to establish a settlement, but the Calusa tribe fought them off. What happened in 1539? Hernando de Soto landed south of Tampa Bay. He explored the southern part of the continent. What happened in 1540? Francisco Vasquez de Coronado led a mission to find wealth for Spain. He explored the southwestern part of the continent. Who were they? Who were these new immigrants to North America? Most of them were men. The new settlers forced the Native Americans off their land. As the settlements expanded, soldiers worked to protect settlers from both Native Americans and other Europeans. Native Americans had their own system of beliefs and rituals. Some of the missionaries wanted to convert them to Christianity. This means they wanted Native Americans to become Christians and give up. Explorers wanted to find more land and resources for Spain. They wanted gold, silver, and spices. Most of these men did not know what to expect when they arrived. They did not know how harsh life would be. Did you know some Spanish explorers wore flat caps with feathers in them? Spanish soldiers in the 1500s wore metal helmets. These helmets were called morions. Think about it. What would you like to explore? Would you know what to expect if you did go exploring? Starting a settlement. Did you know the first permanent European settlement in North America was Florida? In 1565, Don Pedro Menendez de Alves started the colony of St. Augustine. Today it is called St. Augustine, Florida. It is south of Jacksonville on the east coast of the state. St. Augustine was a fortified settlement. It started as a small town protected by soldiers. They built a fort to protect the people. A fort is a group of buildings used by soldiers to defend an area. The fort at St. Augustine protected the town. It also protected the Spanish ships going back and forth to Spain. If there was a hurricane, the Spanish could take shelter in the fort. The fort helped protect them from attacks from other countries. The fort at St. Augustine and the town changed over time. Read more to find out. The first fort was built of wood. It was easy to attack and burn. The next fort was built over a century later. It was built out of coquina. It was stronger and still exists today. The walls are 30 feet high and 12 feet thick. Plus, it's surrounded by a moat. Over time, more people settled in St. Augustine. The town started to grow. More houses were built. Services were started like a blacksmith and leather workshops. There was even a market where people traded goods. In the 1700s, a schoolhouse was built to educate the town's children. St. Augustine was ruled by the Spanish for 256 years. It became a part of the United States in 1821. Life in the fort. Life in St. Augustine was difficult for soldiers and their family. These are some of the difficulties they had to face. As they took more land from the Native Americans, they worked to protect themselves from both tribes who wanted to live on the land and other armies. At first, they had a small amount of supplies. Ships brought them things from Spain, but these ships could take many years to arrive. The environment could be difficult. There were sometimes hurricanes and tropical storms. Many of the people who arrived at the start of the colony were men. They were soldiers. Some women also arrived from Spain to start a new life. As time passed, people got married. Some men married women from the local Native American tribes. They had children. They helped grow the town. When their children grew up, some of them became soldiers and worked at the fort. Did you know there was not much clothing available in the colonies? Early settlers could not bring too much clothing with them on the ships. Artifacts from colonial times, such as buttons and buckles, have been found in St. Augustine. These artifacts help us learn about how people dressed in the past. Who do you think might have worn buckles? Put on your explorer hat. It's time to check out what the Spanish soldiers wore in the 1700s. Maybe they wore buckles. Select the blue dots to learn more. Hat. A Spanish soldier's hat was called a tricorn. It had 3 sides folded up. A red ribbon showed that the soldier was Spanish. Pants. The soldier's pants were called breeches. They went to the knee. Shoes. Spanish soldiers wore leather shoes with buckles. Undershirt. The undershirt was also a soldier's nightshirt for sleeping. It was usually white. The soldier's vest was called a waistcoat or a waistcoat. What did I learn? Lesson summary. The Spanish started colonies in North America during the 1500s. Explorers, soldiers, and missionaries settled in the Florida area. St. Augustine was the first permanent European settlement in North America. It changed over time. The first fort was made of wood. Later it was made of coquina. The town grew and grew. It is still a city today. It is the oldest city in America. Now I can explain reasons people came to the United States, describe daily life in colonial America, explain how daily life in colonial America changed over time. Who were some of the first Spanish people to travel to North America? Soldiers. Name one reason the Spanish came to North America. They wanted more land for Spain. How did the fort at St. Augustine change over time? It was rebuilt with coquina. What is my assignment? It's time to show what you know. Complete the Spreading of Spain quiz. You can do it.